Welcome to Beardy, Bruce Lee Central.
Hey everybody, it's Birdie here. What's going on, guys? Okay, so I've had this interview in my archive for a long time, but the interview needed to be restored. You couldn't hear anything. It was in terrible shape, but I simply didn't have time to restore it until now. So I've completely restored this interview and it's pretty good. It's almost perfect. You can hear everything now. So Linda Lee was Bruce Lee's wife, and now she's called Linda Lee Cadwell, but back in those days she was called Linda Lee. And she basically reveals everything about Bruce Lee in this interview. So here you go, guys. Enjoy.
Now, Linda, Kung Fu is not really the title or the name that Bruce described his fighting.
No, he didn't actually call it Kung Fu. The actual name he used was 𝘽𝙧𝙪𝙘𝙧, but he didn't actually like to have a name or a style branded on his way of fighting, because he felt that fighting is something that evolves of itself. It happens as, you react to something not in a way you've been taught or in a stylized way, but in a way that fits the appropriate time. And so he hated to be labeled with a certain style, but the name he used was 𝘽𝙧𝙪𝙘𝙧.
What does that actually mean?
The actual translation is stopping fist way, or intercepting fist way.
But now he has been branded with the title Kung Fu.
Well, Kung Fu is really a general term. Since Bruce has passed away in July, I've received many letters from people in Hong Kong who have not signed their names or who have not given their return addresses on the letters. And also I'm sure there's many other people who wanted to communicate their feelings to me because so many people loved Bruce. I'd like to thank all those people. It's been a great help to me to know that I have many friends here, even though I'm not a Chinese, and you have welcomed me into your city and into your hearts.
Linda, do you take personal interest in these letters? If you have the chance to reply, would you do that?
Yes, I have replied to some of them, and in fact I will reply to all of the ones that I can. It's just that with all this inquest going on and everything, and I have a lot of things to do while I'm here, I may not get the replies done as soon as I should, but I will reply to the ones that I can. Sam and Ribu Hui have been my very close friends for quite a while, but since Bruce passed away, they've given me so much help and support and friendship without asking anything back. I don't think that I could have been as strong as I have been or have tried to have been without their support and their friendship.
I heard from Ribu that your association with them was quite by accident. Is that right? How you met?
Well, they came back to Hong Kong at about the same time we did, and we were all taken to dinner by the Golden Harvest people together. And Becky and I, not being so keen on the different kinds of Chinese food, we were eating duck's tongue and eel and things like this on that particular night, and we'd be glancing at each other over the table and chuckling, and I guess maybe because we're both Americans and we come from the same background, we struck up a very close friendship.
Linda, can you tell us, how did you spend your time with Bruce? How long have you been married for a start?
We celebrated our 9th anniversary just last month, so we just missed our 9th anniversary.
And during your 9 years, can you recall your happiest moments?
Well, there's so many. It's hard to say when is the very most happy moment. I'd rather not specify one moment. It's more of a growing happiness as the years went by. I can't say the day we got married is the most happy, because as the years went by, happiness became more, love became deeper.
How did you meet Bruce?
I had a girlfriend in high school, a Chinese girlfriend, who was taking Kung Fu lessons from Bruce, and we all thought it was very funny, and we laughed at her and kidded her about it. And Bruce used to come to my high school. I was still in high school, and he was in college. And he used to give lectures in Chinese philosophy. And my girlfriend was quite struck with him. And she took me along one day to her kung fu lesson, and I thought it was quite a bit of nonsense. Then, however, some time passed, and after graduating from high school, I started in at the University of Washington, where Bruce was also going to school. And because my Chinese girlfriend knew him, we sort of became a group that used to meet together in the hub between classes. And we would just talk together and just have a lot of fun all together in a group like. And then, well, the group kind of broke up. And Bruce and I sort of just got together.
And you yourself have taken up Kung Fu?
Oh, yes, from that point on.
From Bruce?
Yes, in fact, well, actually, I don't know if I was more interested in the Kung Fu or in the teacher.
Did it take you long to develop the art?
Oh, well, I can't say I ever developed the art to any degree of proficiency, but I've always been very physical, and I was a cheerleader in high school, so I wasn't completely out of shape, so I could do the things that everyone else was doing in class. After we got married, he sort of used me as a sparring partner. Oh. You know, gently. But he would try new things on me. And when the children were coming along and they were young, I didn't continue to practice daily. But he made it very clear that a woman is no match for a man when it comes to fighting. And but in another way, a man doesn't usually come up to a woman and put up his fists and say, you know, we're going to have a fight. He will more likely to come up to a woman and grab her from behind or from... In other words, he will be in a very vulnerable position. So the best way he taught me is just to hit the vulnerable spots and scream and run a lot.
Did you ever reach a stage where you feel that you could be an instructor yourself?
No, never, no.
I was under the impression that on television here in Hong Kong that you were able to take care of yourself.
Well, we sometimes did demonstrations together. But demonstrations are completely different from being proficient in an art. A demonstration is a show.
I see.
And as far as my part of any demonstration, it's a bunch of tricks.
I see. Well, Linda, could you tell us, after your marriage to Bruce, where do you normally spend your free time? I mean, on his spare time?
He was a very private individual. He didn't like to socialize, didn't like to mix with nightclub people or go out and party a lot. So we spent most of our spare time at home in this room, which you can, in his study, where you can live for days without going out. Supplied with refrigerator, television, books, and he could stay in here for days and days.
Well, let me describe to the listener exactly what I see here. Two statues of one of Charles Chaplin, or Charlie Chaplin, and one of Stan Laurel. Is that right? Stan Laurel. And
there used to be four. There used to be W.C. Fields and Laurel and Hardy.
Well, we have Laurel, but what happened to Hardy?
They got broken.
Who by?
My son.
And also I see lots of books. Lots of books, Linda. Are they mostly on any particular topic?
Well, they cover all kinds of physical training, all kinds of hand-to-hand combat, in any style, Western, Eastern, any kind. Philosophy, any kind. Worldwide, you know, he didn't just stick to any one particular kind. Many books on improving yourself, knowing more about yourself, such as books by Krishnamurti or The Prophet by 𝘽𝙧𝙪𝙘𝙧, books like that.
Now, moving on, let's see, two very, very comfortable armchairs. I presume one is for you, one is for Bruce.
Yeah, right, yeah. One of them was supposed to be in the bedroom, but we decided if one of us is going to be comfortable, we might as well both be comfortable, so we moved both in here, because we sit in here all the time.
And on to the right, a pickup, a tape cassette deck, and an amplifier, and more books, and the two speakers spread as would any stereo set, and a picture of Bruce Lee. When was that picture taken, Linda?
That was taken, I guess about a year ago, on the top of Ocean Terminal, car park.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Now, since we were in such a cozy atmosphere, can you tell us what sort of music Bruce like? Or let's say both of you like?
Bruce likes modern music. He didn't especially like classical music, although we did have a few records of classical music that sometimes we did put on. But he likes some jazz, mostly music with a beat, some mostly romantic music, music where the words have a meaning.
Now, Linda, we can come to the list of songs that mean an awful lot to Bruce and yourself. I see you have Sergio Mendes and Sinatra, Tom Jones, Samuel Hoy, Engelbert Humperdinck. Can you tell us, first of all, what is the meaning behind My Way by Frank Sinatra?
Well, I love that song myself very much, and every time I hear it, every time I've heard it, I always think of Bruce, because he always did things his way. And there were many other ways he could have become successful. He could have, for instance, opened a chain of kung fu schools in the United States, because it's a fad over there now. And he was often advised that he should do this, especially after he did the Green Hornet television series. He could become a millionaire doing that. But he didn't feel that that was the right thing to do, because to learn his type of martial art takes very personal instruction. And he could have grabbed hold of several television series which were offered to him over there, but he didn't feel that was the right way to do. People were always advising him of he should do this or he should do that. He should write a book because he had become so popular in the martial arts world and he could make a mint off of this or that. But he stuck to what he thought was the right way for him to achieve his goal. He wrote down on a piece of paper in 1969 exactly what his goal is, and that was to become a film star, bringing out the best qualities of Chinese martial arts and showing it to the world.
Well, that's one way of expressing one's way, and that is the reason behind the song My Way by Frank Sinatra.
He liked to watch those Chinese Cantonese movies on TV, mainly because he didn't like so much the movie, as he would be studying the techniques they were using and to see what they did good and what they did bad, and so what he could use. Not only Cantonese movies, but any kind of movies.
What about the fighting movies, the Chinese boxing movies for Wong Fei Hung? Does he like that?
Yeah, he likes to watch it, yeah. He could pick out what he shouldn't do because it didn't look very good. Or what, or the other way around too, what was good, Besides that, he liked to watch those movies because he knows most of the people in those movies. And he often worked with them when he was a child.
Coming back to the music, Linda, I see that Bruce likes Sergio Mendes a lot. Any particular reason for that?
Because of the beat. Bruce can dance really well. Yeah, he was, in fact, in 1958, I think he was the Cha-Cha King of Hong Kong.
Right.
Yeah, and so he really likes music that you can move by. And he used to put music like this on and jump around the room and spar and do movements, trying to get a flow going.
Does he find that the two go together?
Before it comes, you have already your response is often before you have been attacked. You have to be that quick. He was, anyway.
Now, what about your son, Linda, Brandon? I believe he is also quite a martial artist himself.
Well, he's very, very physical. He's very strong. he can do some elementary things like side kicks, and I believe he did that on television. But Bruce didn't feel it's the right time for him to go into a detailed study of 𝘽𝙧𝙪𝙘𝙧, which is what Bruce called his style of fighting, because it takes some discipline of mind as well as body. So he started Brandon in judo, not because he believes judo is a good defensive way of fighting, but more because it involves bodily contact and because you learn to handle your own body.
And so would you say that Brandon is good enough to look after himself?
Depends. Look after himself from who? I mean,
if he gets into a fight, I mean.
With another 8-year-old, to say? Definitely. More than able. He's proved it on more than one account. He's very much like Bruce. Like if anyone does something wrong, for instance, one time my son and my daughter were playing at another child's house, and this other boy pushed my daughter down, and Brandon took after him and really beat the dickens out of him. He wouldn't stop. He's very defensive of what belongs to him.
Does he love his little sister a lot?
Oh, definitely. Of course, they have their arguments, and they fight about toys and everything like that, normal. But when I'm not around, when nobody's around, he takes very, very good care of her. He, even now, when they are in Canada together, and I'm not there, even though my sister is the one that's acting as the mommy, he is the one that looks after her very, very closely, makes sure everything is right for her.
Are you going to encourage him to carry on with this kung fu?
Oh, yes, I don't know well, Bruce has one assistant instructor in Seattle that who studied with Bruce for quite a few years. So he will be able to carry on Brandon's training. For now, until Brandon's a little bit older, he can carry on with judo. He's just become a yellow belt, so he can carry on a little more with that. But he will be physically active in everything. Bruce and I, besides martial arts, Bruce and I both loved gymnastics.